Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my playground. It's where I test images and test code. This is the code side of things here. Uh, all this stuff over here. Um, this is what's running right now. A deep red here, deep red lights on this ship here. Um, so let's shut those red lights off. First of all, I don't like the lights being that color. Okay. This is a playground where I can alter this ship and play around with things. Oh, I gotta link up that light there and the underbed lights. Um, and basically it generates a single image that basically will be looking out into space, where you can drive around and everything. This is not the actual place that you'll be in the game. It's just my test bed. I type in spaceship camper because I find every generation to be really interesting. I just describe a quick little camper with some bunk beds and a little kitchenette and stuff, and I just like the vibe of these spaceship campers. And so I had to revert a few times now to get this to work for the demo, but there's a special thing that I can do is I can take a picture of this. Now it's actually taken the picture, and I'm going to draw this box around the picture here, and I'm just going to give this a simple request here. I'm going to say edit the picture, draw the microwave door open, do not change anything else. Okay. And now we're going to generate that. I really hope this works, because I misspelled edit here. I did not see the misspelling before I hit the generation button. So yeah, we'll get two different states of this device now. We'll get the state of the microwave in the closed state, and I didn't really describe this good enough, so I really do hope it works. Oh, yep, there we go. And now we have the microwave in the open state. And so anything on this ship while I'm playing around, and the alignment here is off because I have had to revert this code. I had to revert it because it didn't want to work for this demo. There was a bug that I didn't have time to fix. So to show this exact function, I had to revert the code. But I do have code where it works perfectly, and you can go around and change anything on the ship, any request, any physical light change, anything like that. And then I also have natural lighting off, and you'll see behind me the albedo is showing pure. But I can turn on different kinds of lighting here, intensity, physics. I'll put it like a swing to it, and you can see that the image system is, and you can see this is the image that we placed on there before. We placed it around the character. The new one actually cuts the microwave out and puts just the microwave in your environment. And so you can see that the shadows being made are actually cohesive to a 3D environment, even though you're just looking at a 2D image. And that is because I'm having the system actually generate multiple layers for this. The first one it generates is the camper itself. The second one isolates the windows and draws them green. This allows us to delete the windows with this mask here, this transparency mask. And then this one here is called the grayscale roughness map, and it actually gives the 3D rendering system information on how smooth or rough a surface is, which affects light reflections. And this one here is called the normal map, which tells the rendering system which direction each light ray has to bounce when it hits a certain pixel, but it happens in 3D space and instead of in 2D space. And then this one here is a depth map, which actually gives the computer a grayscale image, black and white, of things that are close and things that are far away. And then all these ones here are to isolate light sources and things like that. And then I can change a bunch of different settings for it. And what you end up with is some really cool ship designs. I'll post like 100 or 200 different ship designs. I save every ship design that I have, I save, and then I can just pull it up quickly. So that's basically the gist. This is what you will be flying around in Meta Hunters. Let me turn on just the albedo real quick. And you can see this is the albedo layer. I'll turn on none, and then go to lighting. I'll turn on ship lighting, and go to assets, and I'll actually delete this asset because it kind of fucked it up. But this is basically it. You get a ship. You're going to be able to not move around the ship because, believe it or not, we are in a perfectly smooth sphere right now, and the image is being painted onto the sphere. You get these hard corners because it's literally mapped. This straight line is impossibly straight because in the actual image it's not straight at all, and you can see that in the texture layer here. You can see how everything's like bulbs, and I guess it's too small for y'all to see, but it's like fish-eyed and bulbed. This is like curved, and it's plastered onto a sphere, which makes it look straight. Same for all these straight lines, and the geometry of the math just translates it to spherical coordinates. So a single image generation can basically create an entire 3D room. And you'll be able to click on a hatch and go into the next room. You'll be able to click on this little maintenance well and stand in the maintenance well. You'll be able to click on a bed, for instance, be able to lay on the bed. And there'll be generalized views within the ship. And you'll be able to go down to the engine bay, and then in the engine bay you have components, all over the place. In fact, we can design an engine bay right now. Designing an engine bay. How do I reload this fucking thing? Oh, right here. Okay, we'll go back here, we'll go into here, we'll click on some of this stuff, and instead of putting in 2000 space pod, we'll say infrastructure. Okay. A tiny, cramped, dingy space engine bay with many modules and components and infrastructure. We could get more specific. We could say, include no bodies, include no arms or body parts, and then those are called prompt injections. That's what these things are right here. These are prompt injections that I already have. That inject it into the prompt to make it more cinematic, make it more photorealistic, to make a first-person view, etc. And then if you put it in Pro mode, you actually get 4K images, and they're all very realistic. I keep it in Flash mode because it's fast and it costs less money per image generation, and it has to generate a lot of images to make a coherent cockpit and actually to make any room coherent. And it's taking forever to generate. The system's going to try to identify windows, and it may not find any. Okay, well, this is what we got here. It come with a couple windows because there's some prompt injections that actually tell it to add windows, so it's okay. Let's go to asset. Let's go to lights. It has not detected any lights. The lights it has detected is detected as black. We can turn them to white. So these are all like the little ship component lights, but you know their intensity may be a little too high. You know what? We'll just shut the lights off. We'll shut them off, and we will just add our own light. Yeah, we'll make it red, and we'll make it flicker. It won't let me change the speed for some reason. It's broken. Okay, so you can see the shadows that's being casted on the image that's been made are via calculation being cast. It makes the environment look like it's got depth. I'll just leave this still for a minute, and the light sweeps across it. The environment has this depth to it. Some of these areas might be too shiny, where these blue parts are. It might detect it as shiny surfaces, but other than that, if you look at these wires, they don't look 2D. They look 3D sitting there. And so as you go from room to room of your spaceship, you'll go through hatches. Hatch here, hatch on the ceiling, hatch on the side, hatch on this side maybe. And hatch to hatch, you'll have a different coherent room like this that you'll be able to play in. And then of course outside will be the view of space. So, and then you'll have all the deep ship noises, the outside clanks, internal pressures, you know, cinematic musical tones, narration, live AI narration of your story, and all the dressings on top of it, including finding any inventory across the cosmos that the game engine deems to make sense to find, and having it generated for you unique. Each playthrough will be completely unique. So this is actually going to be pretty cool. And I'll quickly turn this to white. And we get to see what it all looks like in like white light. And it looks pretty cool. I haven't looked at really the ceiling yet. The ceiling don't have much light on it. And for that, I guess I'll have to view the albedo. And so, yep, it did not detect these lights. Not everything's reliable yet. I'm still playing around with it. It didn't detect those lights, but by the time I'm done hashing this out, all the ship lights will actually be real lights that you can turn on and off. Anything that's openable, you'll be able to open, etc. So, yep, there's our green screen for space. It's auto found something that it thinks is a window, and has made it a space view. So yeah. Alright, that's it guys. Peace out.